If the present fact, the fact that the lake belongs to Malawi, is an inconvenience to the people on the lake shore, to the east of it, in another country, then the best way to solve the problem of this inconvenience is not to divide the lake in the middle. It's not even to negotiate agreement of allowing the people on the border or along the lake certain facilities. The real best solution would be Mbeya, Njombe, Songea to be ceded to Malawi where they belong.
Today, I have an interesting audio on the thoughts of the first president of Malawi, the late Dr. Hastings Kamuzu Banda, on the Lake Malawi maritime border dispute with Tanzania. I don't have the exact dates when the speech was made, but I'm thinking in the 1970s. Dr. Banda ruled Malawi from 1964 to 1994, so 30 years he was in charge. He was a very, very old man when he died in 1996, believed to be over 100 years old, so quite an elderly statesman there. I did discuss the ongoing Malawi and Tanzania feud in our previous video regarding the northern part of Lake Malawi. As you know, recently the Tanzanian government instructed all primary schools to start using a map which shows that part of Lake Malawi belongs to Tanzania. They call it Lake Nyasa over there. And Malawians obviously are never ever happy with Tanzanians claiming that part of that lake is theirs. So this maritime border dispute is as old as the two countries' independence from the colonial masters. So in the recording, Dr. Banda was making a speech and he pointed out that some areas of Tanzania were actually taken from Malawi, places such as Songea, Mbeya, and others, which he believed they should have been handed back to Malawi, which would have indeed ended this dispute once and for all. A bit controversial. Is it controversial? I think that we all know this regarding African borders. This is Yao Bantu Show. My name is Yao Bantu. Drop a comment whether you agree with this video or not. It doesn't matter. We like a debate. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. So let's listen in to Dr. Banda talking about this dispute in the, what I think, 1970s.
If between Malawi and her neighbors, whether to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west, has any just territorial claim on any of her neighbors, that country is Malawi, not Tanzania, not any other. Why? I repeat, Mbeya, Njombe, Songea belong here. The honorable leader of the nominated members said that the particular leader across our borders should negotiate for permission to develop that part of his country which is along our lake, and he must stop harboring rebels. I agree on stopping harboring rebels, but I'm not quite so sure that I agree on the other. The Honorable Minister of Finance has already mentioned the point, and I would like to elaborate here. If the present fact, the fact that the lake belongs to Malawi is an inconvenience to the people on the lake shore, to the east of us, in another country, then the best way to solve the problem of this inconvenience is not to divide the lake in the middle. It's not even to negotiate agreement of allowing the people on the border or along the lake certain facilities. The real best solution would be Mbeya, Njombe, Songea to be ceded to Malawi where they belong. That is the solution. Because the people in Mbeya are the same people as in Malawi. The people in Njombe are the same people as in Malawi. The people in Songea, definitely in places like Manda Bay, Mbamba Bay, are our people. Tukuyu. They are people that belong to Malawi. And Tanzania wouldn't feel it. Tanzania is 362,608 square miles, of which over 20,000 square miles are water. Malawi, only 45. She wouldn't even feel it. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I repeat, if the people on the east of our lake are being inconvenienced by the fact that the lake belongs to us, then the best way is to cede Mbeya, Njombe, Songea to us. In fact, even the term cede is wrong. Just bring them back to us, that's all. It will not be ceding anything. It will be just giving us back what was taken away from us by the Germans by agreement with the British, that's all. Therefore, it's not even a question of cession. It's simply returning back to us what belongs to us by nature.
So that is a very fascinating take by Dr. Banda, Malawi's first president, who claimed that Malawi, in addition losing the lake to Tanzania, also had land taken away, as I mentioned. And there is a map which allegedly was drawn by Dr. Banda, which shows the same. I think Malawi, the country itself, from a common sense point of view, does not make too much sense whatsoever. If you think about it in terms of size and location and the population, Malawi is too small. It either should have been part of the other countries, or the neighboring countries should have given back most of its land, such as those areas mentioned by Dr. Banda from Tanzania. Because in addition to the areas that Malawi lost to Tanzania, Dr. Banda at some point also claimed, with good reason, that Malawi lost some of its land to neighboring Zambia. It sort of makes sense if you look at Malawi, isn't it? The late president made some common sense points in that speech. He mentions that Tanzania won't feel anything by losing that portion of Lake Malawi, because Tanzania is a large country in size and has other bodies of water, such as Lake Tanganyika, and the second largest freshwater lake in the world, that is Lake Victoria. And additionally, they have the Indian Ocean to the east. So why not give Malawi that small portion of the lake? In Africa, there are always talks of Pan-Africanism and brotherhood. So if we are that conscious about each other, if we care so much about each other, why then does Tanzania cling on to this small portion of Lake Malawi? It does not make any sense because they have all the resources that they need, even if they didn't have this little portion. That is why I don't buy all this talk about Pan-Africanism and brotherhood. It sounds nice, but in reality, it doesn't seem to work. Maybe to add some source to this argument, additionally, historically, Dr. Banda and Julius Nyerere, the first Tanzanian president, were not best of friends due to the fact that Tanzania was harboring some Malawians who fled the country at the time, fearing reprisals from Dr. Banda after his 1964 cabinet crisis, in which Dr. Banda had fired most of his cabinet members and some of them fled to Tanzania. They were essentially being accused of trying to overthrow the Banda regime. So then Tanzania did the right thing. You can't blame them for harboring neighbors who were in distress, but that strengthened the relationship between Dr. Banda and Julius Nyerere. Additionally, ideologically, these two leaders were so different. Dr. Banda was pragmatic, while Dr. Nyerere was a raging Pan-Africanist. So Malawi and Tanzania have had an interesting relationship, to say the least. But I do think that a local level Malawians and Tanzanians get on just fine. Especially in the 90s, there were many Tanzanians found all over Malawi in the local markets, trading with Malawians side by side, and many Malawians crossed the borders to buy goods from Tanzania. So the kinship is there. It's just that at government level, it is a little tricky. For example, one of the largest markets in northern Malawi, Mzuzu, has a large contingent of Tanzanians, also other markets up there in the north especially. So as I said, it's at the government level. If we had a resolution, I think Malawians and Tanzanians would get on just fine. So anyway, leave your comments below and tell me what you think about this speech by the first president of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Hastings Kamuzu Banda, on his thoughts regarding this never-ending argument. I'll see you later.